Dungeon Crawler Network presents Tales of Tamriel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 82 of Tales of Tamriel, a Dungeon Crawler Network production. I am your host, Aggelos, he who has a mismatch of armor on right now because I'm not really sure what style I like. I mean, I'm really in love with Imperial, but that new glass armor looks really neat. It's just having to get the malachite and the recipes. It's a hard life, but it's okay, because right now I am broadcasting from the Imperial City, and the people joining me in the Imperial City, besides the AD and, Daggerfall Covenant, those guys, are Avi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, there was a little half-second delay there, so I'm assuming you're in IC now, too, so...
Yeah, I'm in a long loading screen, so
Oh, well, I see.
yeah.
I mean, that's
I'll
definitely
be there.
a thing.
I'll be there soon.
You'll probably be in that load screen until the episode's over at this point.
Probably.
Yeah, those load screens, they are still a thing. And the person who can tell us a lot about those load screens, the man running the stream, Asteldian. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, and yes, you can all watch and admire the various load screens and how long they take during this stream. I am a wimp and not an IC, so sorry.
Gotcha. You're breaking everything out here. See, I just sort of figured we were just going to do kind of like a slideshow kind of thing going forward, and the slideshows would just be the load screens, right?
Yep, just jump from screen to screen.
That's right. It's just 2 seconds of gameplay. The rest of it's going to be load screen. So
Well, at least they're pretty.
they are very pretty, and that is
Yeah.
definitely a nice thing. So, well, there wasn't a lot of news this week, but before we even get into news, we need to talk about our sponsors, because we did have sponsors this week. And this episode has been brought to you by our awesome fans over at patreon.com and our newest Patreon supporter, Cameron. Thank you so much, Cameron, for your support. We really appreciate it. And for any of you out there who are currently not supporting Dungeon Crawler Network but wish to help us out however you can head on over to dungeoncrawlernetwork.com, check out the links on the bottom of the page, or you can head over to patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork. Subscribe up to us. Anything as low as $1 a month helps us out. And I mean, it's really a collaborative effort. If that's what you can afford and want to help us out, that's great, because it all kind of gets together and helps us bring you I wanted to say quality content, but right now we're in Imperial City, so there's probably going to be a lot of stuttering and hold on. So, I mean, somewhat mediocre content. So check us out there. Other ways you can help us out. You can help us out by subscribing to us on YouTube. Help us grow that little medium. You can leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, because we sure love those. And tell a friend about us, because you shouldn't be selfish and keep all of this amazing Elder Scrolls Online goodness to yourself. That's just selfish. So get on out there, tell a friend, tell your guild, tell random people on the internet how great this is, and we will love you forever. So, all right, guys, game news time. There was not a lot, but there is some exciting stuff. First off, our console friends are finally going to be able to experience what we're talking about, or rather not talking about half the time, because we have to stop and kill that person running across the screen, because Imperial City has officially dropped this week on both the Xbox One and the PS4 platform. So, yay! Congrats, guys!
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Finally. I know we had Asteldian on, or not Asteldian. Psh, we were talking to you. You don't play on no console. Dear heaven. No, stop that. Stop being silly. Ag, you're just silly. Setsuo. We had Setsuo on last week, and I kind of felt bad because even Asteldian, you were saying before the show, yeah, we were talking about IC all last week, and Asteldian's just kind of like, yep.
And Setsua.
Or, yeah, Setsuo. Dear heaven, Asteldian. It's like I haven't talked to you this week or something already.
Yeah.
I think I just miss
That's
you.
crazy.
I know.
Although on the bright side, you are pronouncing the name right, so happy days.
Yeah, right. It's a step up now. So, in reality, the only way I can say your name correctly is if I mispronounce the name of somebody else. So instead of just mispronouncing your name, I say it correctly. I just attribute it to somebody else.
Ah, there we are, nice and easy.
Yeah, that's
Not
how it
complicated
goes.
at all.
No. But yeah, consoles are finally going to get Imperial City, so that's exciting. I haven't talked to really anyone on console this much this week, other than one person who was messaging us and the Quest Gaming Network on Twitter about having some issues with consoles and ESO Plus, aka they're just not. I don't know. I guess
I heard about that.
yeah. People signed up for ESO Plus on consoles aren't getting all of the rewards, so I mean that kind of sucks.
Namely
That's
the
a bummer.
DLC.
The DLC, the crowns.
Not a big deal or anything, but they have it and they can't actually access the DLC because apparently they don't count as being subscribed or something's gone wrong.
Huh. Interesting.
But on the bright side, they still get to enjoy the new and improved loading screens that we will have. So, yay then.
They're long and beautiful. Good old loading screens.
There you go. I had to respond in chat. Yes, Stefan and Justin. Yeah, we just started just a few minutes ago. We normally start at 3 p.m. Eastern, but my fault. I was out at lunch, and I was watching Shawshank Redemption, and that movie is forever, but it's an amazing movie, so I just had to stay till the end of it. So that unfortunately made it so that I didn't leave till like 2:30, and it's like a 20-minute drive. It was a never-ending, took forever to get around kind of deal. So we started a few minutes late, but that's okay because that meant you guys got to be here for the whole thing, which is
All in
awesome.
all, that's the worst excuse of being late. By the way, that's just shocking.
What?
Sloppy as that is.
So much for being professional, huh?
Yeah.
What, I was
Like,
eating?
I would have been there, but I thought I'd have an extra sandwich for lunch, so I thought, sod you, I'll start a bit late.
I actually
feeling a
had
bit
custard
peckish.
pie, so
Oh,
I think
Wow.
custard
Lucky you.
pie is a winner there because
always stay longer for pie.
yeah, the pie was not a
Now
lie
I'm
today.
hungry.
Yeah, it was a really good one. You ever have custard pie? I mean, I like custard pie. It's like an egg base, but then they had like peaches in it, so it was really good. So I had like 2 slices of it, and when I say slices, I'm not talking just a little thing. I'm talking
You mean
half.
2 pies?
Yeah, I essentially cut it in half and then had both of them. So that was the thing, and why we're a few minutes late. So yes. All right, so consoles, they got their Imperial City, or maybe got their Imperial City. There is some issues there. However, another little bit of news that hit us this week, which is exciting because it's good for the health of the game, but we got some news that in 2016, yeah, I know it's a little way away, but bear with us, 2016, The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited is expanding into Japan. So there will be a Japanese server going live in 2016. That's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, I mean, it's obviously just good for the health of the game, really, if you think about it. It's the major thing that I can think of is just it's good for the health of the game.
Well, if they think they're doing good enough to make it worthwhile, that's a good sign.
I mean, obviously, we love the game. We're here right now, and I just got a mage skill, and then I died, so that kind of sucked. We're podcasting about the game, but I'm kind of curious how well it will do in Japan, because, I mean, yeah, it is buy to play now, blah, 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 but there is Final Fantasy 14, and that is just massive in Japan. Like,
I do wonder that myself. I'm wondering why they pick. I mean, yeah, that's a big deal.
So, if you're Japanese, you pretty much are like required to be subscribed to that game. I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good game, obviously, but it's. I don't know how well it will do, because Elder Scrolls obviously is, and this is a cultural thing. One of the things we were talking about, Final Fantasy, the reason why I'm not super fond of it is it's very cutesy, right? Like everything in Japan seems to be cutesy. I could be incorrect. I think there might be some games that are dark, but as a whole, they like the cuter type games. And Elder Scrolls is not really cute. It's dark, and I don't know how well it will jive with the majority of the populace. I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. They pretty much invented chibi everything. So, and Elder Scrolls is not chibi at all. And one of the reasons why I like it.
They must have done their research though to get an idea of why people would want why go to Japan. They must think there's a big enough population for Elder Scrolls. Maybe a lot of Elder Scrolls single players being sold over there.
Maybe.
But you are right. You'd think that's a pretty strong competition with Final Fantasy 14. I know arguably we've got it here as well, but yeah, it's kind of
but that's
it's the home team.
Yeah,
Final
exactly.
Fantasy is the home team.
Exactly. That's one of the best ways I think I've ever heard. That was an intellectual property that was developed, at home. Like that is their, their fantasy. I mean, it's kind of what sprung their entire like they have their own genre, the JRPG genre, because of it, right?
Yeah.
So it makes me think that, I don't know, like it does have some very stiff competition, and I don't know, it may do well, but it is what it is.
Well, Skyrim was pretty popular over there, right? I remember the Japanese modding scene for Skyrim was insane.
Was it?
So, oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, that makes sense. As I say, there must be a reason why they decide it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
There must be something like the sales they've had in the past for test games.
Right.
Because, it's a lot of effort to translate all that.
Yeah.
For doing it on a whim.
Yeah, definitely. And KDR Mickey and Rodrigo, welcome to chat, guys. Thank you for showing up. We're talking about the Japanese release of the Elder Scrolls Online next year. So let's hear your thoughts if you think it'll do well. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, and I find it's going to be very difficult to beat the the home team, as you say. It's just.
But they don't have to beat it, I guess. It just will be popular enough to use, buy to play after all. So it's not like
it's
a direct competitor. So it won't beat, but will it be successful enough? Yeah, maybe, probably.
I just got my butt handed to me by two DC characters. That's pretty awesome. And I was just trying to do a quest.
Well, I'm in the sewers with a group of like 30 people, so it's pretty crazy down here right now.
30 people, really?
Yeah, man, all EP.
Nice. Now I was just messing around, and I got invited to a group with two guys who were just playing around. So I'm like, I'll see what's going on. And so I did, and I shouldn't have, because now there's DC characters running around eating my face. So
yeah, fighting one of those bannered guys, the Devourer of Souls, Yix.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, they're always fun. They are definitely always fun to do. I gotta move this cat. Oh, cats. Khajiit, Khajiit. I spray them with water. They don't like it. All right. That was kind of it for our news, guys, but let's go ahead and let's talk about our discussion topic for this week. I was perusing the ye old Reddit, and I came across a thread that I thought was interesting, and I'm going to actually read it to you guys here so it's in its entirety. The name of it was, "Can we please get a solo dungeon option?" The foundation of the Elder Scrolls has always been solo, and it's something that I'm pretty fond of. Although I do like the multiplayer aspect of the MMOs, it shouldn't only be multiplayer. The entire game can be played solo. So why not have a challenge mode where enemies in vet dungeons are simply not as great in number, so they don't overwhelm you? Slightly scale down the hit points, and that's it. Same rewards, but solo challenge. Guilds are not my thing, and I know plenty of people feel similar. And the friends I do have that play different games randomly, or can be on different time schedules. I've been playing on the PS4 since release, and I still can't even try to go for a small chance at City of Ash for the Scoria set. I love the solo content, and I have tried a few times to solo the dungeons because I love the difficulty, but darn, it's vicious. While I doubt that I'm the first person to mention it, but I think this would be a great addition that doesn't really hurt the unique aspect of the item in question or any of their rarity, while at the same time adding to the game's overall options. Who wants to go first? No one?
I'll go first, so you guys can jump into it.
Okay.
Because I understand where he's coming from. Back in the day, I used to kind of want a more soloable way to do the dungeons and maybe just having the world by myself. But now that I play it with people, I'm not really like that anymore. And the whole concept of being able to solo everything, I mean, you can all the way up till VR14. I've done it. So it's obviously possible. And honestly, I wouldn't like the idea of being able to solo everything, especially being able to get the same undaunted helms that we have to fight so hard to get in a 4-man dungeon just by being in a more scaled, soloable dungeon. Because if you have a great build that's sustainable and can do some good DPS, then you're going to get those helms probably easier than the group might.
Yeah. Okay. Asteldian.
I seriously hate it when this kind of crap comes up. You have no idea how angry this makes me. I know people will hate me for it, but seriously, no. If you want a pure single-player experience, bugger off out of an MMO and play a single-player game. You want to get all the loot, but none of the effort of being with other people. You don't like socializing with people. You want to play alone. That screams a single-player game. Now, I know in these days, MMOs aren't all about, oh no, everything should be grouping. That's an unpopular idea nowadays. So I reluctantly accept that single-player is quite a big part of MMOs now. Far too much in my opinion, but they are. But now you want to take what little tiny bits of group content there is and turn that solo as well, because you can't be asked to socialize, make friends, or find people who are similar style to you and play. No, piss off. Just get out and go to a single player game or learn to adapt. Leave some integrity to MMOs. They've already been diluted in the modern generation to a bit of a joke. So just leave something there, some tiny little tidbit for those of us who actually like MMOs to still have that. And I know you say it doesn't affect us, but there's still some principle involved here, people. It's an MMO, massive multiplayer online. Sure, you can do a lot of stuff on your own. You're not forced to do everything. But there's, a handful of dungeons and some trials to do in a group, and that's too much for you now? Seriously.
I'm glad you said it, because every time I say it, everyone says I should bring Asteldian back on. But I agree. Asteldian shares my opinion on this. It's an MMO. And I will say this for the person. Do I think he is... I'm trying to think of a proper way of saying this without being offensive. Do I think he feels like he should be entitled? I do. Do I think he's wrong? Absolutely. Now, with that being said, I will say one thing. I don't think it's entirely just this person. Or like, if the tools were in place to be more friendly for grouping, then I would say he doesn't have a leg to stand on. I personally don't think he has a leg to stand on now, with the exception that he is playing on console. This particular person is playing on console, and we all know how console doesn't have any text chat or anything like that. So I'm assuming finding groups on console is significantly more difficult than it is on PC, because you can't stand in town going, hey, I'm this looking for this dungeon. You shout it out because there's no text chat yet. So I feel like that consoles don't have the tools in place needed to make grouping somewhat easier, especially a pug group. So I will give him that, but this entitled attitude that he has is just complete bull. And to be honest, I understand that, yes, you like the single player of Elder Scrolls. That's wonderful, but this isn't a single player Elder Scrolls game. You got to get that through your head. Like, that's just what it is. This is not a single Elder Scrolls player's game. Go back to Skyrim, wait for Elder Scrolls 6 if you're that opposed to it. Now, I don't think, if you are that opposed to it, fine, great. I say give it a chance, because even Avi, we were talking about this. You were even saying a few months ago, you probably would have been in the same thing. But once you found out how much fun it is to group, to get together with your friends and do stuff, like I know we were talking that you've even considered looking at other MMOs now because you've kind of grown into that.
Well, yeah, just the grind of getting the top gear and working with your friends to achieve goals. There's nothing like it. And I've only learned that playing MMOs. So it's a learning curve. So that's why I don't really blame this guy. Because like I said before, I had to hear this game was coming out and think, oh, I'm not getting my Elder Scrolls 6 for a long time, and went, well, just make this game single player so I can play it. But now that I've played it so much, that's just no.
And
But you see, you're the perfect example of why modern MMOs have made a mistake in trying to be so accommodating to all the single players. It took you so long to discover what fun you can have in multiplayer because you didn't need anyone. So you approached the game as a single player style, and you got to very high vets before finally actually experiencing the fun you can have with others. And so the more MMOs dilute themselves into being so incredibly solo friendly, the more people stick to soloing and get less and less interested in the group idea, and then suddenly want group dungeons to be soloed because it's all there. It's like, just get out there and group and enjoy what an MMO is.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and it also comes with the title of the game. Elder Scrolls is in the title, so this is gonna inflict with the whole single player aspect. It's an MMO, but the Elder Scrolls title is in it, and I think that's where a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their head around.
Yeah. As it happens, funny enough, I will say, I actually have no objection to the idea of a story mode of the dungeons and stuff where, you rifted it with their raids, where you actually had like a 1 or 2 man group go in there and fight. It was slightly different to the real zone. The mobs were completely different, but it just gave you the story.
Sure.
And let you share and experience the story. I got no problem with that sort of idea to help, because if you are trying to go with the story, I understand why it can be kind of inconvenient getting a group together to go through a story and then they're in a rush through the story, so you're not actually reading it because they're like, come on.
Yeah.
So I've got no problem with the story mode idea, so you can experience every single part of the game's story without actually having to get rushed through it or interfered with. I've got no problem with that idea, but no to just turning them flat out solo dungeons.
Let me answer some of these people in chat, because we got quite a bit of people in here. I'm going to first address Pedro. Hello, Pedro. Thank you for coming on. But I do agree with these people, and I want to say we do agree, and I can see where the guy's coming from in one aspect. And a lot of people are saying in chat, Justin saying, it's way too hard to find groups on both sides, but it's worse on consoles, and it's killing the game. Rodrigo said pretty much that was a strong way of answering it. Kind of reminded you of Rage from Elder Scrolls Off the Record. I take that as a great compliment because I love Rage, so that's awesome. The problem is finding groups. It's people don't use the tool. That's because people sort of assume the tool doesn't work, and that's from the PC side. There's a lot of stuff in here. Stefan says, I can see where he's coming from. It's painful to try and find a group on consoles, and I feel that it alienates me from my friends on the PlayStation Network. That's why I'm already grouped up with. I have to leave their party to join up and run a dungeon with random people for 30 minutes and then go back. It kind of sucks. Even if console had text chat, I'd be infinitely happier with the game than I am now. And Justin goes, I think when they allow cross-faction grouping, that things might be a bit better. Like when they patch it in, they have a mandatory video on that shows you how to use the group tool as soon as you get into the game after you finish installing. I agree with that. There's a lot of things, and we're not saying that um, from the way this guy's coming across, and I'm going to personally quote unquote attack this guy because he's saying he wants a single player that essentially gives the same rewards. It's not as difficult. So no, you shouldn't have the same rewards. That's complete BS. It should be the same rewards you get from a quest. I'm fine with that. He's wanting to get Valken Scoria by himself. Like, no, if you're gonna go for good rewards, that's the issue. So excluding this guy's elitist kind of I shouldn't say elitist, the I deserve this, the entitled attitude this guy seems to have, which is my
I
major
exist, therefore I deserve.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's an issue. The issue with grouping, though, especially, I feel you guys for consoles, like just finding a group, it's difficult on PC because even I have hard times finding it because it's shouting in towns and stuff like that to try to find groups. I understand that. It's not easy, but the way this guy is describing is he wants to get the same rewards for doing it by himself, but part of the difficulty is having to work with other people, with having to find the people to do all that stuff, and you want the best rewards to do it solo. That is an entitled, I bought your game, therefore I should be able to have everything. No, you shouldn't.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, just to point out, I mean, I understand everyone saying, oh, well, on the PS4 you got this problem because there's no chat and it's a bit of pain. That's fine, all, but don't use Zos's piss poor group planning as a way to sort of nullify the idea of grouping the game. All the issues you talk about are poor implementations from Zos. Why there's no chat is just an unreal idea. Some people have got around it by using Reddit every day. They put in a daily pledge, sort of looking for group thing each day. So people have found other ways around it. But the flaw here is issues with what Zos has put in. So don't try and say, oh, let's get rid of group dungeons because they clearly don't work. No, it's just Zos need to tighten up their system so that they're decent looking for group tool, a decent chat system. Why they stubbornly refuse to do all that, I don't understand. But, as I say, you can go elsewhere to make these groups. Reddit's already being used. In the old days, outside of games, to make your groups before you even got in game was quite a common theme in an MMO. You get organized before you even went into game.
Right.
But, so I say Reddit's got ideas. So yeah, I do understand. I do sympathize with, especially for console players, how bad it is to form a group. But coming up with a solution to a completely separate problem, isn't the way to do it.
The problem is not solo instances because, as we said, this is Elder Scrolls Online. Get out of your head that it's going to be single player. That's not the problem. Fixing the grouping issue on both PC and consoles, that's a problem and that needs resolved. But I mean, it's stupid to be thinking I should do everything solo. That's pretty much what's killing this entire genre. It's because everyone's like, it should just be soloable. And then you know what happens? People get bored because it's like, wow, I've done everything. It took me a day.
Yep.
Like that's what's killing this genre in and of itself. The constant need, I guess, from the populace to make everything soloable. I should be able to do everything solo. That's not the purpose of MMOs that, have been around for 20 years. That was not what they originally built for. I mean, back in the day, people had single player games, right? Like, and people were like, I want to be able to play with my friends, and not just like one or two of my friends. I want to play with hundreds of people. Like, I want this to be a living world. That's where MMOs started, So, and and I'm not going to say, I'm going to say this, and I'll probably get some hate mail, which is fine. It's the modern gamer and the console mentality. It is not all, but as a whole. I mean, even if you take a step back and look at yourselves consoles, it's I want to play Elder Scrolls like I played Skyrim and like I played Oblivion, which is by myself. Well, there you go.
And it's funny though because go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, to be fair, I mean, I say the genre's been killing itself before consoles even started getting to touch MMOs. So
right.
As it happens, I'd actually say it's kind of the other way around. Because MMOs have turned themselves into what they are, it suddenly made sense to go onto consoles from there. So it's actually just made sense for MMOs to expand onto consoles. It's not that consoles are the ones who've changed the MMOs. The MMOs changed and then have realized, hey, actually, we'd probably suit console players who are used to playing on their own because that's kind of how our games work nowadays.
Right.
I mean, the idea that you play a game, the whole idea of rush to end game, which some people will say, oh, they criticize people. Why would we ever want to rush to the end game? This is well, the fun's the journey. Well, unfortunately, that used to be the case, but it's not anymore. The journey is just a solo tedium all the way up to max level, and then finally you can actually do some group content. That's why a lot of people grind as far as they can to the end, because that's when they get to actually play with their friends these days. And that again is a big, that's a symptom of the change of MMOs, because they've made it so solo friendly to the point that grouping is just an inconvenience until you get to end game. Then you can actually have some fun with your friends. So everyone goes through the boring, tedious content because it's easy. You go la la la, done 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 done. Yeah, I'm end game. Let's go do a dungeon at last. Let's go have some fun together.
Right.
And that's not what MMO is supposed to be about. You shouldn't have to wait till the end to have some fun with your friends.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Justin saying in chat, and we're not disagreeing with you, Justin. He's saying that it should all be in the game. We agree. We're not being apologists for ZOS. We are very much critical of the fact that they had shoddy planning for their grouping tools. Like, they're developing an MMO, but they're ignoring pretty much the basics of grouping and made it so that their tools are bad and people are going outside. Is that proper way of doing it? Absolutely not. But you're essentially, the whole conversation we're even having here is somebody wants something to change. Like, they're wanting ZOS to make a change because they can't find a group, versus why doesn't ZOS just fix the grouping issue, and it solves the same problem without taking away what Elder Scrolls Online is.
And you're right, Reddit is a bad solution, but it is a solution, and a temporary one, hopefully. But, for someone saying, oh, I can never get groups and stuff, well, other people have had this problem and they've come up with a solution which, albeit isn't ideal, but it will work for now. So why not just follow along and make use of that until hopefully ZOS actually sorts themselves out?
Oh yeah, this is definitely not apologizing for ZOS. ZOS needs to get their crap together and fix the grouping. But this is definitely going against this person who essentially has the give me attitude of, I want to farm Valkynscoria by myself. No, it's stupid. It is absolutely stupid. And I'm almost of the notion of there shouldn't even be solo like story mode stuff. It's called get on YouTube and watch the story. Someone will have recorded it. I mean, let's face it, it's true. Somebody will have recorded it. Get on the interwebs and YouTube the thing, okay? Like, I don't know. Yeah, this mentality annoys me. Like, the whole I deserve because I bought your game. No, if you suck, if you bought Super Mario Brothers and you sucked and couldn't beat the first castle, you didn't deserve to see the ending, Yeah,
they didn't make a special easy mode for you.
Yeah, it's just because you can't do something. Just because I don't have the time to farm Emperor doesn't mean I should have it. I'm not going on the forums going, I bought your game, I should be allowed to be the Emperor of Tamriel, even though I don't PvP. That's not cool. No, I understand that. I don't play the game PvP as much. I don't have the time to farm it, nor do I really have the inclination to. But I know that because I don't, I'm not calling to ZOS going, you should make a way for me to be Emperor doing something else. No, I just accept this is something that I might not get anytime. So, I don't know. It is what it is. All right, guys. Anyone have anything else they want to say before we get too further into this? I think we kind of went over it in chat room. Thank you so much for giving us your thoughts and opinions. I do appreciate it. We have a lot of console listeners, so it was nice to hear your guys' points of view. I will end this by saying, at least from my side, I do agree console players have it worse. I understand it is hard for you guys to find a group. Do not think I'm not saying that, because I understand your system sucks. But because ZOS failed you guys doesn't mean that it should be soloable. It just means ZOS needs to get off their butt and fix their broken grouping, or at least give you guys some sort of group chat or I'm still in favor of the message board system that Final Fantasy 14 has, that you can literally
God,
post.
yes.
That was such a good system. You literally just post. You post your own group and go, this
Every
is what
game
I'm
should
looking
use
for. I agree.
I'd use it over looking for group tool anyway, so that every game should have it as an option. I don't like the random sort of you get dumped together and appear. I'd much rather have a board where I say this is what we're looking for. Love to have you come along. We're a newbie run or whatever it is. Put some details down and then have people join who actually want to, rather than randomly join because of an LFG and find themselves stuck with people they don't want to be with.
Right. Oh, and Justin's going, oh no, you're not against me. Yeah, I'm definitely not against you console players. It's Zos's crappy grouping stuff, but yeah, we had to talk about that. We were talking about what we wanted to discuss before this, and I saw that post, and it was unanimous that we talk about that. So, all right, guys, that's the end of our discussion topic. It's time for our Tales section, which is what we've been doing in game this week. So, Asteldian, you get to go first.
Yeah, not all that much, to be honest. My poor main Templar hasn't even really been touched since IC came out, to be honest. No particular reason for it. I've just been focusing on getting my DK up just because I fancied a change. I was kind of all done, really, with my main at the time. So I've been playing on the DK, just questing through. He's almost VR 8, and he's not quite finished Silver yet, so he's in the final zone.
Okay.
So I've just been questing through there, and then was it Malabal? No, not Malabal at all, the one after Reaper's March. So he's in Reaper's March, so he's in the final Silver content. And I've been doing the quest through there, which is... I forgot how fun some of the quests can be, to be honest. So it's been quite nice just cruising through them all. Spoiler alert, obviously in the Reaper's March, I've just done the one quest that I forgot how much I hated, which is the one with poor Raz.
Oh, Razimdar.
Yeah, I did not like the quest at all. I forgot about that one. I was like, oh no, this is a sucky quest. It's a horrible, horrible choice.
I haven't even done it yet.
Oh, have you not?
Well, no,
Yeah.
I only
No,
do
you've done it
quest
so
with Thais, and she hasn't been playing that much, so I haven't been questing. I've just been grinding.
I thought you finished Silver though.
No, I'm still in Bank. Well, see, I'm Ebonheart Pact,
Oh, of
so
course,
Ebonheart Pact
yes,
goes to DC zones, and we're still in Bankorai. We still got about 60% of Bankorai left to go before we even touch AD zones. So, yeah, we're pretty far, and I love Razimdar just from the main quest when he kind of hits on Naryu, which is awesome because who doesn't want to hit on Naryu? I mean, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm with you.
Can't go wrong with that. Yeah. But yeah, so I've done that.
Okay.
And that was a very sad time, but such is life.
So why?
That
I got a question for you. Why are you going to Dragon Knight now? Why are you abandoning the light, sir?
Oh, believe me, I'm not. Every second I'm playing on my Dragon Knight, I do prefer the Templar in terms of gameplay, but I got to the end before the new download IC came out. Of course, my Templar has done everything. I've done all the trials. I've done everything, all the Dragonstar arenas. I've done everything I could want. I had the gear, had all the builds that I was playing around with, so he was kind of done and dusted. There's nothing more to explore with him. I even had a build for PvP I enjoyed. And now, obviously, I could investigate and getting some new builds and things, but I'm feeling a bit lazy at the moment. I can't really be bothered to go through all that motions. But eventually I will get back to him, but I'll probably get my DK up there first, just so that he's there as well. Just a change of pace. But yeah,
Okay.
I definitely, playing on the DK, I do miss my Templar, especially as my wife is playing a Templar, so I have her running along with me using all the Templar skills. Like, yeah, I remember that. Oh,
I remember how good that was.
That.
In fact, before this podcast, I did pop on to help a guildie because they were in Shada's tier against the last boss. They needed some help, so I jumped on my Templar for the first time pretty much since the download. And it's like, I had to quickly sort out my bars, and off I went. And it did feel good smashing through the end boss in Shada's tier, going, yeah, this is what it felt like to be a Templar. So that was refreshing. Although, one thing I will say, I know I'm playing it with my wife, so there is two of us, which makes it even easier. But just to sum up how disturbingly easy the game's got these days, my DK is running around on bar 1, he has Lava Whip. and on bar 2 he has the impulse. All the other skills are from the werewolf line because I'm leveling them up. So I don't even have any skills I can use in combat except one on each bar. And it's like, this is tragic. It's just running along, spam, spam, spam. On the bright side, I'm skilling up those werewolf skills quite nicely.
I'm actually going to say this from Nate because Nate sent me a Skype message. So Nate's going to have a little bit of Tales in this. So Nate, when you're listening, I'm still stealing part of your Tales. Nate was telling me, because I asked him, because I thought he was going to be on the show today, but he had something else to do, so he wasn't able to. I couldn't remember if he said he was going to be on this one, so I had to ask him. He goes, otherwise I would have enjoyed being on the show. I played so much PvP this week. Imagine me doing this in a British accent, just because I can't do it. I don't want to offend anyone of the British by faking it. Played a straight 12 hours last night until 4 a.m. I think I finally, and he has in quotation marks, got what it's all about and how to be better at it. Still haven't been able to click yet with Imperial City, but that's because good grouping is so essential. Either way, was a fun night. So 12 hours of PvP from Nate. That's
Nice.
pretty awesome.
My God, he's going for Emperor.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right?
Emperor's next. Emperor Nate. I understand. Yeah, I actually need to get into PvP more just for the fact that I want those skill points you get from leveling up. I don't know. I think what I'm going to end up doing is one of these weeks, like, obviously I've been saving my vacation days for when I move, as soon as that bank gets back to me on that stupid house, which would be awesome because I'll have good internet. Yay! But like, I've been saving some days because one of the things I'm thinking of doing is my wife, she takes her son down to Philadelphia where her family is, and often, spends like a week there. So I normally come home and have nothing to do. I'm thinking one of these weeks I might just take a few days off and just straight PvP to grind out some stuff. So I might do that. I haven't figured it out yet because I still got to figure out about when I move about this house and stuff like that, because I'll be taking a week off just to, get it ready because there's lots of stuff that needs done. But otherwise, yeah, that's probably what I will be doing in the future because I want to get into the PvP a little bit more. If nothing else, to get the achievement points and titles. So I love titles.
Yep, they're great.
Yeah, so that was cool. All right. I'm not getting killed right now. I literally just lost my place. Avi, you've done a lot this week.
I have done a lot, and I just lost 1,000 Telvar stones to a damn DC. It's funny, I just said earlier, oh man, losing Telvar stones doesn't bother me, but I just lost 1,000. I'm like, oh man.
If nothing else, that could have been 10 of the VR16 upgrade ingredients.
I know, right? Oh my goodness, it hurts.
Yeah.
But my week. I got VR16. I was inside the Imperial City for probably, I think Nate beat me by 2 hours. I think I was in there for 10 hours or so.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I got a VR rank and a half because I was only halfway through VR15 at the time. So yeah, or VR halfway through VR14. I mean, so yeah, that happened and that was nice. Besides that, I did Pledge Night with Kilted and Single Malt, and we did the Imperial City Prison, and we got whooped.
I was gonna say, did you beat it?
No,
Oh.
we got to the I can't think of his name. He's like a giant like a older blood fiend kind of, and
Is he
releases a bunch of ads, and
Oh.
he's like crouched in the center of his little area. I can't think of his name, but man, he murdered us all so bad. We even took down the scale to like VR3, I think, and we still couldn't do it. So
Yep. No, I've done that one too, and I'm with you on that one because when I was doing it is difficult. Like that, we started at, I think I was doing it at VR15 with a group. We were all VR15 or 16, so we weren't like under leveled, and we were getting killed by the trash. So people were like, let's just do it on low difficulty so we can get it done. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So we went and put it down to VR1, thinking, okay, VR1, this should be cake, right? VR1. Oh my goodness, we got to that same point. That guy in the center with the pools, and he
Yeah.
just it. You got to have really good DPS, or there's got to be some mechanic to. We weren't looking it up either. We were just messing around, seeing if we could figure it out. But those ads he spawns, if you don't kill him in time, they enrage and pretty much one shot everybody. So there's like no way
Yep.
to get around it. You're just like, nope, I'm dead. See you, everyone. Nice knowing you.
And plus, I was in I was only VR 14 still, and then all of my, my armor on my main is very, very bad. Aggelos, I have to talk to you about that soon.
Oh,
I mean, my Khajiit has nicer gear than my VR 16.
sir,
And
why haven't
it
you talked to me about that already? We could have hammered that
Well,
out.
I'm right now I'm saving up medium mats, which are so hard to find for VR 15, 16. I get so much of the metal to decon, but I can't get any medium or light armor. I can't find it anywhere. It's
Really?
bugging me. Yeah, man. I can't think of the names.
You're
I'm in
going.
games. So.
Oh, the
It's weird.
Rubdo or whatever leather. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Are you really just like I'm wearing, maybe it's probably not the best idea, but I'm wearing the gear as it is. Like I'm not wasting the stuff on VR 15. I'm gonna go the VR 16 or bust. Your main's a Templar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well I can actually give you I'll make you the same build that I'm using. Um, which is it's not the best. Like, and you're two-handed, right?
Yeah, two-handed dual wield.
Okay. Well, dual wield is so far the best, but the best set you can get is like what is it? 5 Hundings and 4 venom or sheer venom, and then 3 agility. The rings and necklace.
Yeah.
But for crafting, because that's really hard to get, and it really only works if you're gonna do dual wield, like as your main damage. If two-handed is your main, you're not gonna want to do that. You're gonna want to go 5 Hundings, 2 Night Mother's Gaze, and 3 agility from the necklace and the rings, and then a not Valken Scoria, Moleg Kenna shoulders.
All right.
Which
So I have the
you already
shoulders.
have, and I hate you to death. Not gonna lie, sir.
Which was actually my next part of my tales.
Oh.
Unlocking those 10 keys.
Yeah, go screw yourself.
Well, I guess a lot of people told me that my outcome was actually a lot nicer than a lot of other people's outcomes have been. So I was pretty happy. I got 5 shoulders and 10 keys, so I'm pretty happy. The nicest ones I got the Molag Kenna arm crops. It's a reinforced medium. And then I got the Boggin the Night Flame. I got a Naranith. I think that's the name of the set. Naranith Epaulets.
Yep.
It's a Light Divines. Yeah, I got that in Light Divines. And then I also got another Molag Kenna, but that's a heavy and reinforced. So that was fun to open. It was like Christmas. I waited till the morning and got my coffee and opened all 10, and yeah, it was very fun. I enjoyed it.
Now,
And that's pretty much been my week.
that's a pretty good week,
go ahead.
sir. That's a really good week, and I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
jealous. I got 2. I got a heavy and a medium, and they're actually fairly good. Of the crud of the shoulder that you wanted, you know which one I'm talking about, the Dwemer shoulder, whatever.
Yeah, the Engine Guardian.
Engine Guardian. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. It was okay. Like, I'm wearing it right now because my sets are kind of all over, and having that nice little bit of a health bonus is okay. But it's, I don't know. It is what it is. Where do I drop these off at? I have no darn clue where I drop off these crafting rewards. Okay, cool. In the Rift. So that's where I'm heading. Sorry, I'm talking to myself while I'm doing all this at the same time. Let me pull up my notes
right.
here real quick, because you may want to, I don't know, take mental note of this. And I've been talking with some various people. Again, sheer venom would be better if you were going dual wield. as main. But if you're not,
Nah, my main's two-hander.
yeah, I am too. And even though, like, and I was talking to one guy on Tamriel Foundry, which is where you should go for all of your builds and all of that. Um, his name is Alcast. He's part of Hodor, which is like the number one ESO rating guild, and he has his Jabs Mania build. And I was talking to him, going, I really like two-hander. Just I know it's not the best, but you actually only lose. Well, the sheer venom may give you something else. You technically only lose one small weapon damage increase for going two-hand versus dual wield. That's about it. So if you're willing to lose that, it won't affect your DPS that much. But what you're going to want to do, Avi, is to save. You're going to do medium armor on chest, legs, shoes, belt, and boots as Hunding's Rage. And then you're going to do a Night Mother's two-handed weapon. You can do it on dual wield as well, so then you get that weapon set bonus when you're in dual wield. But when you're on two-handed, you only get the one. And then you're going to want to do a heavy helm that's Night Mother's Gaze. And then the agility jewelry and a light Moleg Kenna with divine trait on shoulder would be like your best in slot. The reason why you're doing one, is for the Undaunted bonus, where it gives you that extra health stamina for having at least one of each armor type. So you have the heavy helm, the light shoulders, and then the rest of everything is going to be medium Hundings, with the exception of the helm being Night Mother's, and then your two-handed weapon being Night Mother's, which will give you... What does that give you? Let me look here real quick. Oh, I'm not on the right character. It's like a bunch of weapon crit, so it's not bad, and that's what you're going to want to run with, at least for your thing. So, I mean, I can actually share this.
Is it much of a difference between having Hundings at VR14 to VR16, or? Because I'm saving the mats for that, so I'm trying to get it, but I already have a VR14.
I'm honestly doing fairly good damage even at VR14. I think there probably is going to be a big difference, but I've been able to do everything. Like, I'm still pulling like 12k DPS in VR14 gear. I should be higher, but it's enough to do any dungeons or trial now, with the exception of the White Gold Tower, and the newer ones are difficult and it may push me, but as of right now, I'm not having the issues. So in reality, the only piece of gear right now on my main that I actually have that's VR16 is the helm, because I gathered enough metal to do the helm. So I'm only wearing one piece of VR16, with the exception of the shoulders that aren't even good. I just put them on, the Engine Guardian ones, just because I had them and it was VR16 and I had already broken my set anyway, so I figured, what the heck. So that's it.
Some of the biggest difference comes just from the enchantments more than the actual gear itself. The VR16 enchantment stats you get quite a bit more from.
Yeah.
Certainly between VR15 and 16, the actual difference between the stats set bonuses weren't that big, but you get a good few hundred extra from your enchantments. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, the enchantments are where you're going to want to go. And the thing is, with the enchantments, they only work on those pieces. You can't even put a VR14 enchant on those gear. It has to be the VR16. The only place you're going to get that is in Imperial City from the runes. So it's fun. It's fun getting it. But
hey, one more question. Okay, so the jewelry set, does that come from the trophy vaults in IC?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
And they drop randomly? Like, I'm collecting all the different types of keys, so do they all drop different places? Or?
No, they drop out of the Monstrous Tooth and I think the Bloody Claws. Because there's the Endurance, the Willpower, the Agility set, and there's one more I'm thinking. Or no, is that it? No, that's it. And they drop out of each one of those. So two of the trophy vaults are attributed to one versus the other.
Okay.
Remember the last time we were there, we were trading. I was giving all of my planar armor scraps to Arcaneer, who was then getting the endurance set, and he was giving me the bloody claws. Yeah, that's why we were doing that, because those are everything I got out of those was agility. It wasn't what I needed. I didn't get it. I got like an agility axe and an agility staff, and it's like, oh, wonderful, thank you. But that's where you get the stuff from.
Okay.
So that's definitely helpful. And yeah, what I would recommend doing is, other than if you're going for the achievement, which I am, open each one once just to get the achievement, because I'm an achievement whore, would be then to trade the scraps for the ones you need, which are monstrous tooth or the claws. Just say, I'm willing to trade planar armor scraps for these. And people will trade because they're like, yeah, I don't care. I need the endurance or the willpower set. I don't need the agility set. So,
all right.
Yeah, so keep that. So unless you're going for the achievements, I would trade them.
No.
Oh, if you don't care about the achievement, then by all means, just trade them. There's like one achievement, let me look it up. The achievement's under PvP or Alliance War, Imperial City. It is Imperial City Locksmith. You don't even get anything other than 10 achievement points. There's not even a die or something attached to it. So it's just assembling a key for each of the 6 places. So if that doesn't bother you, then I would trade everything other than the monstrous tooth and the blood claws. Yes. That's what I would do if I were you. Now, with that being said, what was I going to say? I don't know. I mean, some of the other stuff sells though, so maybe you might want to still keep it. You know what I mean? Because they do sell. I got something out of what did I put together? I got an endurance something that was apparently selling for almost 200,000. So I mean, you could sell if you get the other stuff, but if you're looking for gear, I would definitely just trade what you need.
I'm looking for gear, so I'm gonna go for some trading.
Yeah, trade what you need.
I got about 41 of those planar armor scraps, so
yeah, you could probably trade them to a tanky type character who's looking for the endurance set, for something you're looking for. So,
have they changed the endurance set? It used to be crap when they first created it. It was like a bit of health and then stamina regen, which was bugger use for a tank these days.
Yeah, right. Yeah, considering whenever you're blocking, it doesn't work anymore. I don't know if they changed it, because honestly, I wasn't actively looking at it, because obviously I'm like, I don't need it. Remember, guys, drinking game. Every time I say obviously, you have to drink. I don't know. It was on Twitter. Someone was doing a drinking game.
David, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, so I'd rather the agility set, I think, for my tanking, if I was going for a stamina tank, and get health elsewhere. I don't really see much point of the endurance set. Unless it's changed. I haven't seen it. As I say, I haven't seen the updated one.
Nice. Man, chat's really active. I'm really liking this. Stefan goes, I like joining live more than listening on Mondays now. It's more fun. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I got Justin's going about Night Mothers and Night Silence. VR16 agility is much better than the VR14 Orifin, but my crit will go down, but weapon power will go up, as well as stam. And I'm particularly talking, Justin, in this case, about Templars. I'm sure Nightblades maybe focus on something else, but Stamina Templars, what I gave was more or less like best in slot, other than Sheer Venom, which the drop rates are just terrible. So.
See, I'm surprised. I would have thought Ashen Grip would be more useful for the extra weapon power rather than the extra crit.
Well, the thing is, Shadow got buffed this patch.
That's true, yeah.
Shadow got buffed out the bum right now. If you're over 50% crit, you should be using Shadow. Like, before it was just terrible, but now you're getting essentially what was like 18%. If you, like, the current meta that I've been seeing is, instead of doing infused on the big pieces, the chests, the helms, the legs, it's just to go divines, because you get like 18% extra crit damage, and if you have a high crit chance, it's just it's insane the amount of damage you do. So that's why that is the way it is. Shadow got buffed last patch, so now it's divines pretty much all the way, and crit is more valuable than weapon power this patch. Weapon power is actually not that big of a deal. I mean, it's not nothing to shake a stick at, but it wasn't as powerful as it was in Update 6. So, yeah, fun times. Pedro wishes he had the DLC. Do you not have the ESO Plus subscription? Or because if you have the subscription, you just get it and then you get crowns. I'm always in favor of the subscription, not just because I like subscription model. The ESO subscription is actually really good. If you can afford it, I say get it and save up the crowns. You get $1,500 a month, plus you get the 10% extra experience, gold drop. There's a lot of benefits to having it. So, I mean, if you can, save up for it, and then within sub for 2 months, and you got yourself your DLC plus all the bonuses. So, there you go. Plus, you can be playing you can actually be playing the DLC while subbed without actually having officially bought it. So, seems to be a winner to me. Yeah, Justin, it got buffed insanely well. You get the full 18% extra crit damage now, or whatever it is, and it is really, really good. Before it wasn't even worth that much, but now it's definitely worth the look at. Especially if you have a very high crit build. Now, I don't know how well it's going to function in PvP, because people might have been pulling out the impenetrable stat more because crit did get such a big buff, but you never know. It might be beneficial because people might not have changed their builds yet. So,
yeah, it went from 5% to default to 12%, and then obviously Divines boosted it even further.
To 18
for the Shadow and Thief. Yeah, because if you're under 50%, I think nowadays instead of Warrior, people are going back to Thief, aren't they? Because that gives you 18% crit chance.
Yep.
And then, as you say, once you get high enough, you then flip it over.
Yep, that is exactly what you got to do. And Jeff brought up a good thing. Thank you, Jeff, for reminding me. They are teasing this. They've said that what they're going to do is they're going to provide additional bank space for crafting mats for people who are part of the ESO Plus subscription. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I have crap tons of crafting mats, and all of them are currently in my bank, so I can use them on all my crafters. And that's really beneficial to have that extra crafting space to be an ESO Plus subscriber. That sucks. Pedro is saying that the problem is not really the price, other than the fact that in where he's at, the amount he's paying is almost 4 times as much because he still has to pay in American dollars.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking to somebody about that, actually. That's a shame.
See, I don't know. I guess I understand from a company point of view, but that's kind of where other countries get burned, because $15 a month really isn't that big of a deal in the United States. Let's face it. I spend more at McDonald's than I do, for a lunchtime than a sub, right? It's not that big of a deal. But when, $60 a month.
How much do you eat at McDonald's?
I was gonna say $15. Oh my!
3 supersized.
Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. I'm a growing boy.
All off the value menu.
I'm a growing boy, mostly wide, not tall anymore, but wide. Okay. My goodness, this is about Elder Scrolls, gentlemen, not my eating habits.
Kind of intervention. Tales of Tamriel intervention on you.
Oh my! I'm killing Sabretooth thinking about freaking cheeseburger.
Thinking about putting one in a sandwich. Sabretooth between 2 buns.
Sabretooth. A McTooth. Mick Sabretooth. I want a Mick Sabretooth. It's like the McRib. It's only available for a short time. All right. Well, that was kind of depressing, and now it makes me realize that I still haven't worked out today, and I still need to do that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's why we're here.
make me feel bad about myself, and now I'm going to have to go work out, which I hate doing. Thanks a lot.
It's good for your health.
Thanks a lot, guys. You're the best.
Beautiful.
Oh, my wife says that. You're beautiful, baby. I love you.
I love you.
Oh, you're the best. See, I don't even need you bastards anymore.
You could have used the excuse you were buying a meal for you and the wife.
I could have, but I
that
didn't
makes
think
sense.
about it.
$15.
I didn't think about that. Wow, that would have been helpful. That would have been really helpful. Okay.
You're like, I was just trying to give an example, guys.
I was. What now? You just make me feel terrible about myself. Mead lifting for the win. Yes, thank you, Midnight Geek. That's right. If anyone's been following my Twitter, you'll actually see I have like 4.5 gallons of mead sitting out on my kitchen floor.
I saw that, man.
Got to wash those Big Macs down somehow.
That's right. That's right. I sure do. Man. All right. My gameplay this week, other than defending my eating habits, I've been doing a lot. I've been farming to trying to get that Moleg Kenna set. Thanks a lot, Avi. Man. I guess it serves me right, because was it you, Asteldian, that I was saying I was keep
Yes.
getting? Look at these shoulders. I'm just gonna delete them. Yeah, all right.
That's my shoulders. Damn you.
Karma came and bit me on the rear. Thanks a lot, Karma. Wow. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been working on farming the glass set, which I've got the gloves so far. Because that's a pain in the butt. Like, seriously, the glass set really... This is part of the problem. Like, I don't mind a grind, but what really annoys me is they made this one so grindy. The only thing I can think of is people are going to rush to the Crown store to buy it because it's so grindy. It's insane.
Is it on the Crown store?
Not yet. I guess they're waiting till people have it, or at least either that or they're just going to wait a random amount of time. That they said they were going to wait until they, until people had it, and then they would add it to the Crown store. But it's so grindy to do that I can honestly just see people going, I'll just throw
$50.
Well, I don't know. With how grindy this is, I could see this going for as high as $100. I mean, they might, right?
Oh no, I didn't they do that.
I don't know, man.
That'd be a mistake. $50 is a nice high number to say. Most people aren't going to want to do that unless it's a proper grind to do it, and they might get tempted. But if you now, the minute they put that $100, you've crossed the line at that point. You've now said, we've intentionally made this really grindy and tedious so that we can charge even more for this book. You're starting to get a very slippery slope of putting things in because you're intentionally putting crap grinds in so you can make more money from the Crown store, and that's where it goes horribly wrong. Because at the moment, the books were sort of already what they were before the Crown store existed anyway. So it's like, this is how it is. They're tricky but easy to get. Even the Dreamer, at the end of the day, it's not a massive grind. It's just a bit of commitment to get. Whereas, and that was $50. It was an overpriced amount for the books, but it's there for convenience. That's fine. So be it. If now the glass ones come out, they've made a real crappy grind, which they have. Mm-hmm. And if they turn around and say, and this is $100 to buy at the Crown store, it's like, okay, now you guys are taking the piss. You've only made it this grindy so that more people will waste their money buying it.
Yeah. This one was excessively grindy, like really, really, really grindy. And the worst part is it's kind of time gated. It's RNG'd and time gated, because at least with the Dwemer, you could farm it by going out and just going, to the various, the various thing. Like, you could go out and go, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and grind the mobs, and maybe I'll get lucky. They tied the glass behind the daily writs. So you do a writ, and I mean, yeah, I guess technically you could have, obviously the higher you are, the better. So if you have all 8 crafters maxed out, which who bloody hell has that many crafters maxed out? I mean, I love crafting, and even I don't have that. But that's what I'm sort of feeling like. They're going, yeah, even if you could do it 3 times a day, you could essentially do it 24 times a day. If you had all 8, and I mean, I guess that's okay, but still, that's then you have to get all the materials. That goes a lot of materials through. There's a lot of stuff in there, and they just made it so that it's that grindy. And then, of course, there's the RNG. You only get 3 chances to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't have such a problem if they weren't adding it to the Crown Store, but I can tell what they're going to do is they're just going to add it to the Crown Store, and they've made it so grindy that people are like, why even bother? Like, that's what I honestly feel they're going to do. And I mean, I'm all for a grind, but I can see where the majority. I'm the minority in this one, and I completely understand that I'm the minority here. But even I'm going, wow, yeah, I can understand people wanting just to throw down $50 for this.
Well, there's a fine line between a grind and taking the piss.
Yeah. I honestly feel like they're just taking advantage of us now versus, making it grindy, because you essentially have to gather 10 fragments, then buy a random thing off of a merchant that costs 10k, which is not that big of a deal. 10k, whatever. It doesn't take long to farm that. And then you combine it together and get a random page like the Dwemer. So instead of it just being a full page, like, oh, look, I found boots. Now you're collecting 10 random fragments, combining it together to get a random page. It's
So
excessively.
you can get 2 boots in a row.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
that is awful.
And
oh
it's
man.
and it's not even grinded by the fact that you're still having to go in and do this daily with the writs and spending about 10k just to combine it. So like you're never going to see these pages drop below 10k, because you need to spend 10k on a piece of what is it, Merithic something or another, that you buy from the mage merchants, the guys who sell the stones. So there's a minimum price of 10k per page, because that's how much it costs just to combine it together. So and it's not a drop. You buy it from an NPC vendor. So these are going to cost quite a bit of gold for quite a while, I can see. But yeah, I've been doing that. And I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the grind, but this is to the point where it's excessive, and I wouldn't even complain about it if it wasn't for the fact that I know they're going to add it to the Crown Store. So it's sitting there in my mind going, the only reason why you made it this way is not for gameplay. You made it this way so that you could sell more of it. Maybe you didn't sell enough Dwemer stuff because the price dropped and people are like, why would I even bother when I can easily farm the money than spend the $50? They made it so that it was expensive. This was calculated. This was not it just turned out that way. No, this was calculated. Yeah. As KDR Mickey said, it would be great if this was not going to go to the Crown Store, because then it would make crafters feel important. It would be nice if glass was one of those that wasn't added to the Crown Store, because then it would have been, hey, you have to find a crafter who actually did the work to get it. The crafter could actually charge money for it. Going, hey, you want full glass? Well, I'm the only person online who has it. So, there's things you could do, but as soon as it hits the Crown Store, if it's not an obscene amount of money, people are just going to buy it there because it's almost too much of a grind.
Yeah, if it didn't hit the Crown Store, as you say, you could almost justify saying it's kind of like the end game thing for a craft to get that unique armor set and then sell it to people. Go, hey, I can make this for you. But yeah, if it goes to the Crown Store, which no doubt it will at some point,
yeah,
it's just another bit of nonsense.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's a very large grind to make people go, wow, it's just easier for me to throw down $50. Yeah.
Especially for subscribers who happen to already have the crowns. So it's like, oh, actually, it doesn't feel like I'm putting $50 down because I was already subscribed. So,
right.
Like me, I've got plenty. I could actually do it because I've got 11,000 or something crowns sitting there because I don't spend them or anything. So for me, it would feel like it was free, even though obviously I paid for it via the sub. And I'm subbed anyway.
Jeff in chat makes a good point. I think they're testing boundaries and they seem to have found it. I really agree with the testing the boundaries. That's kind of like the Frost Horse being $30.
Yeah.
Like, why was that one $30? Like, the prices of the mounts kept going up and up. And to be honest, I said it before, World of Warcraft still has their optional cash shop mounts at $25, which is essentially 2,500 crowns. But So the majority of our mounts were cheaper than other games. But I really do feel like they were just testing, going, let's throw this Frost Horse out here and see who spends $30. And I bet you it went, oh, not as many people as we thought. So apparently $25 is okay, but $30 is not. Okay. You notice that the Mind-Shriven horse wasn't that much, wasn't $30, even though it was one of those elemental horses. Yeah. There seems to be a lot of testing the waters to see how much money people will spend. Yeah, this is definitely one of the longest grinds, and there's a large cost factor if you count 10K as large. I mean, it's not a lot, but I mean, it's not super cheap either. So each page is a minimum of 10K. So the market price will always be high, even for people who farm it, because you're obviously putting 10K into it. You're not going to sell it for 12 because then you only made a 2K profit, if it's even considered a profit, not including the mats you had to throw into the writs to hope to, get the piece. Next should be the Undaunted gear in the Crown Store. Don't you put that evil on me there, Mr. KDR Mickey.
No.
Don't you put that evil on us.
Could be worth to make the dungeon soloable so you can get it from there.
Yeah, just make the dungeon soloable. Who cares?
I think I'd seen it was on the Crown Store, to be honest.
Yeah, right? Man. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. What else do I have? Ooh, I'm fighting a zombie. I am still trying to level some of my alts, since obviously me convincing Avi to play my characters and level them up has not worked. I'm trying. He loves it. Loves alts. Instead of him deleting some, I'm like, hey, why don't you just level this guy?
I got a level 30 and a level 40. If you ever want to get those lobies up, just let me know. I'm always on.
I know. It's my time that's the problem.
Yeah. I'm the one that's always on. Like, all you gotta do is message me.
I know. I do need to level them up because I want to get everyone to VR1 so I can at least do the highest level crafting writs, because that's what I do. I do my crafting writs every day. Most people who see I log on every morning to do a couple things. One, to get my mail. Two, to feed my horses. Almost every single one of my characters has a full 60-60-60. So all 8 characters. See, at this point, I can't even delete a character because of the amount of money I spend on horse training. So that's a thing for me. But yeah, I've been playing on my main character. Let me check here. And I made mention of this to Avi, that I really like. Hey Betty, welcome to chat. I really liked Varwin's idea of the dungeon journal, and if you guys saw our patch or our show notes, I do have spots for us to do it. So we've been doing dungeon journals at least for a while, because I was mentioning before, the early episodes of Tales of Tamriel were very story heavy because it was prior to ESO being launched. There really wasn't a ton of news because a lot of it was behind NDA, kind of stuff like that. So it was a lot of, we would get a little bit of something, then it was a lot of gameplay. And then when the game was full subscription, we were getting patches like every 4 to 6 weeks, like full content patches. I mean, let's face it, updates 2 through 5 came out within the first 3 months. I think that's what it was. Like, it was really quick. And then we had that long gap while they worked on consoles. And so we were getting so much news that the show kind of transitioned from a very heavy storytelling show to a very heavy news show. So I sort of abandoned the dungeon journal just because it was like, well, I mean, we already were having shows that were lasting like 2.5, 3 hours of news, and it's like, well, then we should probably just cut back on the story. But now we're hitting into, if they keep up with what they say they're going to do, and we haven't had any proof yet, but if they do quarterly, there's going to be large stints of news gaps. Like we're just not going to have any news. Like this week, we had 2 bits, and that was consoles finally getting Imperial City and ESO going to Japan next year, which was which was like a mention, not really anything that was discussing. It's like, yay, well, great, they're doing it. So we had that. So now it's going to be mostly gameplay. And I wish I would have done it because I played a good bit this week because I've been able to play a little bit here and there and be able to play when my son's sleeping or whatever the case may be. But now I'm kind of can't remember what it was I was doing before. So I wrote some notes. I'm going to have to get back into the habit of doing it more often. That way I have actual notes to talk about. But pretty much, let's see. I'm still farming more VR16 materials. I got my first helm piece, and I'm close to getting my first greatsword, which I want to make glass. So I've been trying to farm the malachite, which is a pain. I also bought my first piece of shield breakers. I bought one of those bags that cost 8,000 stones because shield breakers is going to be my PvP set, and I mean it worked. Like, I got something. It wasn't the best. I would have preferred to have something else, but it had okay stats. It wasn't terrible. So I got that. Been doing a lot of Imperial City, mostly to farm materials because I need tons of leather. And like, I'm almost done with the metal, which is good because then I can start trading it like I've been doing with the Ancestor Silk because I don't do cloth. Because my only cloth piece is going to be the Moleg Kenna set, so great there. But I'm going to need tons of leather, so I'm going to be trading that, and I'll be able to trade both pieces for the leather once I make my great sword. So I'm getting closer. So getting there slowly but surely to VR16. I just hit level 28 on my Templar, my other Templar, my Lobi Templar. So that's awesome. Been farming a lot of champion points. I think this week alone I got 30.
Nice.
Yeah, it was definitely helpful. Because I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you guys have noticed some weakness as well. I mean, my damages went up a lot since they fixed the agility thing, the agility passive for that extra 12% weapon damage. But I'm still running out of stamina very quickly, so I need to start... I have enough points in, what is it? It's under the tower constellation, so I'm reducing my feat cost by 10%. I figured that was a good stopping spot for now. And I'm going to start moving towards adding points into Mooncalf, which is the... Oh, what is it? Mooncalf is the stamina recovery. So...
Yeah, in the lover.
In the lover, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do now. So,
yeah, I usually like to get 30 points in that, and then the rest keeps going into the warlord for the stamina cost reduction. Because 30 points unlocks the synergizer where you get ultimate every time you use a synergy. So I tend to put 30 in the regen, and then like here I've got 51 in my magician and 30 in arcanist, because obviously this one's a magic version. But yeah, I tend to split them like that. So sort of 2-to-1 ratio once I get, but I like to prioritize getting Arca, the synergizer from the lover first, and then I plow everything else into the cost reduction.
See, I should do that. Like, I know I should because, oh man, I'm trying to kill this guy in the rift and I'm getting murdered. That sucks.
Well, the cost reduction is better for you. It's just, obviously I tank a lot, so using synergies is something I do a hell of a lot. Anytime someone casts something, I'm like, oh, I use that. Oh, I use that. So,
yeah, I mean, the synergy
as DPS, really not so much.
Right. But I have, 49 points in it, and I'm to the point now where I'm getting like 0.01%. So I'm figuring at this point it would probably be a good idea to, like you say, put about 30 in there. So 30 would get me, probably an extra 10% recovery or something like that. It would just be useful at this point to go, hey, maybe I should just... update that and get those extra points, because right now I'm not actually earning all that many points in the feat reduction. I figured 10% is a nice stopping point for now, and I'll get my stamina recovery up because that will definitely help me out more with some sustain. Because right now I got fairly good burst damage, but my sustain is kind of low, so I need to work on that.
Yeah, 30 points gives you 10.8 regen, so it's a nice number to get to.
Obi, I can tell you, he left us in chat going, has anyone heard about cross-faction dungeons? No, not since we're planning on adding it. That's all we... Avi, I love you.
I got your back.
Oh, Avi. Wow. Now I feel bad for calling you a bastard. So
It shows that I listen, right?
I
Here we are.
know. For those who don't know, I was in game, and Avi just sent me 13 Malachite shards. So, sir, you've just made my glass greatsword. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Oh, wow. Fine.
Ooh, Dick,
Well,
glass greatsword.
yeah. So as of
Isn't
right
that
now, the only person who's a bastard on this show is Asteldian. So
Just me. Well, I'll give you a warning. Don't make your weapon. Didn't someone have a complaint about the weapons? That when you upgraded them, they suddenly totally didn't look like glass at all. He upgraded his staff, and he got to legendary or whatever, and it went from looking glassish at white, and then by the time he'd finished upgrading, it looked brown and like a normal staff. He's like, what the hell is this? My glass weapon doesn't look anything like a glass weapon anymore.
really, that's
So
actually...
yeah, be warned. You might want to try and find a screenshot of it first,
Oh.
because otherwise it might look awesome when it's white, and then you'll upgrade it to actually being usable. Like, oh,
Man, now I, because I love the glass looking armor. Like for swords, I prefer the more standard kind of looking weapons. Like I just do. I'm not a big high fantasy kind of guy. That's one of the reasons why I've liked Elder Scrolls so much was it was enough of a low fantasy, it had all the elves and magic, but it was low enough that you're not walking around with like Cloud's Buster Sword. I like realistic looking swords. But I don't know. I've always liked glass. I don't know why I've always liked glass.
funny enough, I think you're better off with the who are they? Not the Ultima,
The
ancient
Aliens.
elf.
Yeah.
The ancient elf weapon looks more glass. Their
That-
two-handed weapon looks more glass than the actual glass does, I think.
That was actually going to be my second choice, to be honest. That would if I was trying to get screenshots of glass. So call out to anyone who listens to the show. If you have screenshots of glass armor and like preferably medium in my case and a greatsword, could you send it to me at contact@dungeoncrawlernetwork.com? I would love you forever, and I'll give you a shout out on the show if you can send it to me.
I think there was a thread on the main board somewhere. You might have to dig it out. There's a good few pages worth, and people putting a lot of screenshots of the various armors on there and weapons. And that's when someone was also pointing out that the ancient elf looked more glass than the glass.
Yeah, it's with the ancient elf I've always liked because I guess they tried to make it look like you were essentially forged a sword out of the Wilken stones that were so...
Yeah.
And it did look good. It really did. I'm not saying it didn't. It looked really, really good. I like it a lot. So, I don't know. That was my second choice if the glass looked absolutely terrible. But as of right now, I've only unlocked gloves. And to be honest, I was planning on going all glass medium for chest, everything except for shoulder, which was Moleg Kenna, and my helm, which is Imperial, unless glass looked really bad. Then I was just going to go Imperial medium armor, so I kind of look like a Roman because I love Roman history. So I was kind of all over the place on that one. But Rodrigo, I did try ESO fashion, and somebody posted a screenshot of the cloth, but nothing else yet. They're still kind of lacking behind on that. So now I checked a few days ago. I could be wrong. They might have updated it, but ESO fashion hasn't had it. And I gotta look good. I gotta make sure I look good, especially with how much I'm spending on this. The reason why I like Moleg Kenna is because it kind of looked like the Imperial armor anyway, kind of like the armor you would get from, what is it? The Emperor set, just a little bit spikier. So that kind of had that Imperial feel to it, which I liked. So I kind of wanted to have that whole Imperial, because I love that closed helm you get from the Imperial heavy armor. So that's what I've been running around with. Obi, I love you. Glass style. Ag, do you need any more of the glass style motif fragments? I would be lying, sir, if I didn't say I did, but I know they sell well, so I feel really bad if people send them to me, because they sell. But as of right now, I need, let's see here. If I got every single piece, like every single motif page, I need 120 more fragments. So, yeah. No, actually, it might be more than that. My math is off. So yeah, I need lots of those fragments, but they still sell fairly well, so I'd feel bad. But if you didn't want them, I would take them. Don't delete them. But yeah, I pride myself on a master crafter. So if anyone needs anything, please let me know. Up until this patch, I had every single crafting motif, which I did not buy in the Crown Store. I farmed everything. I'm a full 9 of 9 crafter, so I can do almost anything you want. As of right now, I can't do the new Zivkin armor or the glass with the exception of 1 or 2 pieces. I think I can do boots for Zivkin, and I can do gloves for glass, but that's about it. So help fund your local crafter, because I can do everything. I actually have 50 crafting and everything, max enchanting, max alchemy, max everything. So I love crafting. So what can I say? Let's see. Obviously running into grouping issues, trying to, get daily dungeon groups. I do check the Wings of Fate guys. You guys are great, but we do have a very wide fan group. So I'm Ebonheart Pact, and we have people from all over the place. So I get a few members here and there. Showing up to pledge night on Tuesday, which this Tuesday I will be leading the pledges. So because Kilted is on vacation, so as long as I don't get stuck at work, I will be leading pledges. Obi, I love you too. My goodness. Wow. Oh. Rodrigo says that there is a light and heavy on ESO fashion now. No medium yet. Well, getting closer. Getting closer. So I think that was about it for my gameplay this week. I still need to get back into trials. I don't know if my guilds are still doing it. Well, I kind of understand people don't really want to do it because there's really no reason if you've already had. I still need the hard mode achievements. I still need vet DSA because I had a group, but my guys haven't logged in a while. So Kipster.
Yeah, Kip, where are you?
Kip. Yeah. Yeah, we're missing some people there for vet DSA. I mean, and honestly, all the rewards aren't scaled up, so other than the achievement, it's like, why even do it? So I understand the mentality, but yeah, it does kind of suck. So, wow. Ring of Willpower is only selling for 25K right now. That's actually not that bad at all. Wait. Why is this guy selling it for 25K when right now I'm seeing it going for like 70? Wow, I almost want to buy it, but I don't.
Well, the willpower stuff tends to be a bit cheaper than the agility ones, from what I hear.
Well, that might be because the item sets are better for casters. Like right now, crafted is pretty much the only way to go, except for sheer venom, and that's really hard to get. So it's kind of like agility is best in slot for us. So if you're a stamina DPS, it's like agility or bust. So I don't know. Like I see those go up, but even from my master merchant data, it's showing that it's going for more than what this guy's selling it for. I almost want to buy it and just resell it, but
yeah, buy it and flip it. If not, keep it. Give it as a gift to someone else. Magic users need it.
That's true. It's true. But yeah, I think that was my gameplay for this week. I mean, I've done a lot, and I really need to write it down more so that my gameplay sessions are more, just more. Because let's face it, news is kind of lackluster of late. Because we just had Imperial City, so now we're going to be kind of in that. I'm going to foretell that after a content patch, since it's quarterly, we're going to have pretty much 2 months of silence, and then that last month we'll be hyping up the next patch. Which, is what it is. But with the lack of news, we're going to be very gameplay heavy. So, ooh,
Oh wait, that 25k willpower ring. Have you checked what the trait is? It might have a crap trait.
It might be.
It might be health instead of arcane.
Actually, let's see here. I'm looking at it real quick because I'm just curious now. No, it's stamina.
Yeah, that'd be why.
Yeah. Yeah, that is probably why stamina. Well, I don't. Can you not change the? I guess you can't change the enchantment on that ring, can you?
The enchantment can, but the actual arcane or whether it's robust, you can't change.
I couldn't. Well, yeah, but why would you want to remove the magicka recovery? That's kind of like.
Yeah, well, you might go for reduced cost, mightn't you?
Oh, this is true because that's what I would go for. KDR Mickey's trying to make me. I don't have that much money, sir. I spent so much money on all this stuff. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to run the pledges every day, which is very difficult for me to do because obviously with the little boy, I have to wait until he's in bed, which he normally goes to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock. But I don't know. I got to force myself to stay up later because roughly around that time, all I want to do is lay down and go to bed. That's probably my fault, but it is what it is. I don't know. It is. It's time for us to move on to our next section, which is No, gotta skip those sections. We're not ready for those yet. Those are something to come in the future. Let's talk about Guild Corner. And this Guild Corner is just for if anyone's interested in joining us, the Wings of Fate Guild. Send me a message, AGGELOS. We do weekly events. We do events every single week, and I would like to get a call out for some more participation, especially from various people, because obviously we like doing the events, but if we don't get a good turnout, it's kind of depressing. But every Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern, we do Ebonheart Pact Pledge Night as a group. We'll do it throughout the week too if people want to do it, but we specifically set this side apart to do the silver and gold pledges with everybody just so we can, get through it. Thursdays is Imperial City with Ebonheart Pact and Aggelos. That's me, if you didn't know. We get to run around Imperial City, whether it's in the districts or in the sewers. Come on out. You get good experience. You only need a level 10 character, let's face it, but you're going to be running in a group, so you might be weaker, but hey, you'll be running with us, you'll be farming, you'll be getting stuff for your main characters. So come on out to Imperial Cities on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And finally, we do have an Aldmari Dominion Pledge Night with Clan of Orphan at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So anyone who is Aldmari Dominion, even if you're not in the guild, you can show up. We will not turn you down. So come on out if you listen to the show and join us. Have a good time. It's fun. There we go. We got to move into our mailbag. We did get one email, and he's actually in chat today. So, yay. Pedro in chat. Hey, we got your email, man. I appreciate it. He goes, hello there. I would like to say thank you very much. And keep up the great work. I've discovered the podcast Tales of Tamriel, and I love it. I really enjoy the mood and the content of your episodes. I found myself kind of addicted to your podcasts, listening to them whenever I have free time. I am from Brazil, so please forgive any grammar or English mistakes. Is not my native tongue. You speak better than I do, sir. Ask my wife. I am playing on the American server and hope to meet you guys someday, chat, and experience... share some experiences and tales. So once again, thank you so much. I love your podcast. Thank you so much, sir. And if you want to be part of the guild, man, join us out. We're here. We're here. Send us a message, even if you have all of your guild slots filled. We do those events every week. Just send us a message. You're more than welcome to come along. We have a lot of fun. So, welcome to fatherhood. Yep. I wouldn't change it for the world. He's an awesome kid. I love him to death, but obviously it does eat into my game time. And of course my wife's game time, because by the time she plays after he goes to bed, and I kind of go to bed when he goes to bed at this point. So I don't get to play with her much either. So hopefully that'll change here soon. All right. Let's see where I'm at on the notes right now. I'm trying to find a gold pledge group, and that's just difficult. Final thoughts, guys. Time for us to end the show. That's right. It's come to the end. The tales are over. The campfire is waning, and all the mead is gone. But that's okay, because these are our thoughts. Asteldian.
Yeah, it's nice to be back after missing another week last week. Yeah, light on news, but we managed to still pull a good time on the show, so that's yay us.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I just want to mention again, I know obviously this is an Elder Scrolls podcast, but just worth noting that, as mentioned previously, I do have a copy of the Saga of Lucemia to give away. For those who don't know, you might want to check out the Saga of Lucemia website and see what it's about. It's an MMO. It's not coming out until late 2017, so it's not as if we're dragging you prematurely away from this fine game of Elder Scrolls, but something you might want to look to in the future. I advise you just have a look, see if it tickles your fancy. It's more of an old school MMO feel, and if you do like what you see, then head onto their forums, sign up, and say hello in the introduction area, and just let them know you heard about them from DCN, and you'll be in for a chance to win a free copy rather than pay the $40 at their pre-order store. You can get one absolutely free and join in on their testing phases. So give it a go.
Which, to piggyback off of that, I mean, Tales of Tamriel is part of the Dungeon Crawler Network, and Dungeon Crawler Network does cover quite a bit of stuff. We actually have a video on the YouTube. If you're interested in checking it out, we have a Saga of Lucemia impressions video where Asteldian and I, we were both in the alpha test, which was just it's a server stress test, so it's very, very early, very, very early build of the game. There's still full sections not added, but it'll give you a kind of an idea of what the game world looks like, and I gotta admit, the world is gorgeous, so check it out. I mean, it's on the YouTube right now, youtube.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay. Avi.
Yeah, it was a great episode. Always happy and have a good time to come on and talk Elder Scrolls with you guys, and excited to do it next week too.
I know, right? Elder Scrolls are great.
It's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It's a good thing. Man,
It makes me happy.
it does make me happy. I do enjoy doing this. Like, obviously, we've been doing... actually, I should say this. We've almost been going on Tales for 2 years now.
Wow.
We're nearing that point. We're getting close.
Towards the 100 episodes.
Yeah, we're going to have to do something special for 100 episodes. I have no idea what yet, so we'll have to do something. But yeah, so almost 2 years of Tales of Tamriel goodness. So that's always exciting. All right, my final thoughts, as always, loving ESO to death. Like, I've really kind of got a little bit of a revival in me here from at least the Imperial City. I'm having fun with that, trying to run around. Zos, please fix your grouping issues. I'm not all about, like, I don't think games need to be easy, but you clearly just have broken tools. I don't care if your dungeon finder never works. Give us the message boards, man. That in-game message board that I can post my group. That's just... It works so well, and it's so little work. I mean, on your end, there's like hardly any coding. It's just essentially a message board that once the group fills up, it gets moved off the board. Done. Easy. And that would solve so many issues. Zone chat would be cleaned up because you open up the board and you see all the groups trying to do gold pledges and, Helm farms, whatever. You'd be able to look for it. You go, oh, look, Helm farm. Great. I want to do that. That would be great. Please add chat commands to console. I mean, come on. Voice chat, I like that. I mean, I really do. It does make it feel alive, and, that's great. But it's honestly making it difficult, especially for people who maybe don't want to talk. Give them another option. All right. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Tales of Tamriel. You can find all of our episodes on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. You can follow the network on Twitter at Dungeon Crawl Net, or the show at Tales of Tamriel. You should do so. Make sure you leave us a review, and you can catch us every Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on youtube.com/Dungeon Crawler Network /live. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you back next week for more adventure in Tamriel. Have a great evening, everybody.
Good night, all.